Happy New Year's, everybody. May the year 2015 provide 10 times more than what 2014 was giving you. And that means games, financial stability, happiness, health, all of the above. May 2015 be a kick-ass year for everyone. I'm Jose Betancourt from the Post Game Report podcast, which you can find on iTunes, and you can find it at talkingaboutgames.com, so make sure you check those out. And make sure, if you haven't done so, you subscribe to my channel, and if this video interests you at all, please leave me a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate that. So the year 2014 has come to an end, and from a video game perspective, it has been pretty darn good. Now, I know for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, their exclusive lineups have not been the most memorable ones. I mean, we haven't had a Halo, or we haven't had an Uncharted. Well, specifically, we haven't had anything new that met those type of franchises. So I don't mean, even though we've had a remake or a remaster of The Last of Us, which is one of my favorite games ever. And of course, we have the Halo Master Chief Collection, which on the Xbox side is my top franchise. It's where I began podcasting with Podtacular, which was which was a Halo only podcast, believe it or not. So with millions of listeners and over 200 episodes, we were going strong, Fumo Jive and I. By the way, Podtacular is still in circulation with Duststorm at the helms. So make sure you check out that podcast on iTunes or podtacular.com. But anyway, 2014 and video games, we've seen some really good ones from a third-party perspective. Dragon Age Inquisition, even though I haven't played it, it's not my type of game, but it's been getting a lot of accolades. We saw a very promising Alien video game with Alien Isolation. I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and I'm a huge Alien fan, but the way the game is there's a lot of stealth. I'm not into that. Not for the most part. Granted, I do like some stealth in my games, but like Splinter Cell, you have a choice to go bonkers or go full stealth. So I don't know. Even though I've heard promising things about Alien Isolation, I didn't pick it up. Maybe I'll pick it up on a bargain bin just to have it as a collection. But we saw Sunset Overdrive, which was, or it currently is, an Xbox One exclusive. It's from Insomniac, and I played it. I gave it about 3 hours. I give it an honest try, but after 3 hours, it was kind of repetitive. Even though some of the humor was really funny, I don't know. I just felt like the humor was, it might be the highlight of the actual game, because you gotta run on rails or slide on rails. You gotta climb a lot, blah blah blah. But when you hit the ground, even though you can jump extremely high, or you could be catapulted hundreds of feet in the air and then land with absolutely no problem, but yet when you get on the ground, you're running like you're on quicksand. And to me, that was a design choice that forced me to play the game one way, when obviously I could have played it several ways, and it became pretty repetitive, especially the end, where it was kind of stupid, honestly. But you know what, for a first time IP, for the first iteration of an IP, there's some promise there. So maybe we'll see a Sunset Overdrive number 2, the way they left it open at the end after the credits. It feels like there's a part 2 in the works, so hopefully part 2 has more depth. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game by any means. There are people who absolutely love Sunset Overdrive. And but it's once again just like Alien Isolation and Dragon Age Inquisition. Not my type of games.
Man, I'm sorry.
The game that you're watching on this video, Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation 4, even though it came out on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I hate to say it, but it's probably my top 2 games of the year. I didn't, even though I played some portions of it on the PlayStation 3, I had a feeling that it would come out on the PlayStation 4, so I didn't buy it. I rented it. And then, when it was announced officially by Rockstar that they were coming out with a Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and eventually PC, I was all over it. And I'm glad I waited, because the story is off the hook. The fact that you can play as 3 different characters, and each character that you play intertwines with the other, and the story links itself between those 3 characters extremely well. So from a storytelling perspective, it added something new. Now, it's not like this has never been done before, but I'm talking about the year 2014. Then you talk about visuals. Visually, Rockstar touched things up. You know, they made certain higher, you know, the characters higher res and all that stuff, but they added some really fine visual upgrades that are truly impressive. When you look at the lighting, when you look at the reflections of the cars. Now, Grand Theft Auto on the PlayStation 3 looked extremely well, and it came out at the end of the life cycle of the PlayStation 3. Now, you know, the PlayStation 3 is still getting games, and so is the Xbox 360, but it came out towards the end, and Rockstar is known to bring out their games whenever the hell they're ready, which I love, because when it's ready, they'll bring it out. But what you see in Grand Theft Auto 5, you're looking at reflections, lighting reflecting off the cars. You're seeing, you know, the ragdoll physics are insane when you hit people or when you punch somebody. It's freaking hilarious. But you're seeing, even when it's raining and you're driving, whether it's a car, a truck, or a motorcycle, the tracks created on a puddle reflect the size of the tire, the weight of the car, motorcycle, whatever. It's just so much detail in Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's so impressive. What Rockstar did with Grand Theft Auto 5 on the current gen console and eventually PC, which I'm looking forward to seeing, it's really impressive. They put a lot of tender loving care. They could have just easily brought out a port with higher resolution, but no, they went out, and even though it's the same game, but they just added not just a little layer of makeup, they added a whole makeover, and truly impressive. I'm glad I waited, and the experience, the story, the way it concluded, could have easily been my game of the year had I finished it last year. But because it came out on the last gen console, I can't name it game of the year. What I did name as my game of the year for 2014 was Destiny, and for obvious reasons. People just can't put Destiny down. Regardless of what you may think of the reviews that came out, you know, a lot of 7, 6. Destiny has held its own. You have Halo the Master Chief Collection, you have a new Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto 5, yes. Even that has multiplayer. The Last of Us has multiplayer, which I absolutely love. And if you haven't tried The Last of Us multiplayer, I advise you to do so. But what Destiny is doing, it's hooking people, plain and simple. And that's the whole premise of a video game, is to hook you and keep you playing. So regardless of what you may have thought previously when it first released, and the fact that it was reviewed to begin with so early in its release is pretty comical, because a game like Destiny maybe after a year or so you can review it. You can honestly review it. I know people that have put over 600 hours into Destiny, and that is pretty insane. I myself is nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. I might have put 50 hours if I'm lucky. Unfortunately, time constraints, buying too many games at once. But I still have yet to do a raid, and I hear the raids are really, really freaking awesome if you have the right team. And the funny thing is, with Destiny, you can look at it and say, all right, it's another shooter, there's the same enemies, you gotta grind and blah, blah, blah. But when you listen to people talk about it, and you're seeing people on Twitter, which is at JVB, it's amazing how in-depth Destiny really is. I'm hearing people talking about weapons that I've never heard of. People are sharing photos on Twitter or Facebook, and I've never seen these weapons. I don't even know how to get these weapons yet. And when people tell me how to get these weapons, I'm lost. So there's obviously another layer of Destiny that I had no idea was there, and there's depth, which is great because after owning Destiny for so long, there's still a large portion of Destiny that I need to get accustomed to, that I need to get familiar with. And that's great. That is staying power. That's a game with legs. And leave it up to Bungie to be the developer to do something like this. And who knows, maybe this is the future of first-person shooters. Even though I'm playing Halo 5, the beta on Xbox One, Halo 5, when it comes out, needs to absolutely destroy Destiny. It needs to make people forget that Destiny exists. Because at this rate, Destiny can still go strong after a few years. All I gotta do is continue to, obviously, bring out updates, Bungie that is, bring out updates that people want, and it seems like they're doing a pretty good job of that. They're not giving everybody what they want, just enough, because of course you can't please everybody. And then you have the expansion packs, which I have not yet finished, the first one. So there's so much to do in Destiny, and it looks good. It plays really freaking, it plays great. No other way around it. And if you're a Halo fan like I am, you understand that Bungie has a great pedigree. So, yeah, Destiny, my game of the year. Unfortunately, I can't vote for The Last of Us. I can't vote for Grand Theft Auto 5. But those two titles are still great, no matter when you bring them. No matter when you bring them out. You can bring them out when the new Xbox comes out or the new PlayStation comes out. And they'll still hold their weight because the experience is great. And right now, so is Destiny. But I'm definitely looking forward to the year 2015. We're going to start off with the Order, 1886, then Bloodborne. So 2 big exclusives for the PlayStation 4 that have a lot to prove in their own right. So it's going to be interesting to see where those games take us. What type of experience they're going to provide for the PlayStation 4 owner. And of course, the Xbox One, Halo 5, Quantum Break, whenever that is officially released. I look forward to that one as well.
Well, your buddies won't cheat at cards with that.
But yeah, guys and gals, let me know what you think of my game of the year. Let me know what your game of the year is and what you're looking forward to for the year 2015. It's going to be an eventful one, that's for sure. So until next time, until next year, as a matter of fact, I am Jose Betancourt. You guys have a great new year and stay safe out there. Take care.
Up some more Ammunition Rewards points.